Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. Brandon's one of the first people to try the new Lawnmower 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. Support for all things testosterone is brought to you by Manscaped, the best men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. The 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TRT at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you.
I'm going to have your daddy on here soon.
Oh, boy.
This is the TRT Community Podcast, where we discuss all things testosterone.
Hey.
Hey.
So, before we get started, how do you like that Lawnmower 4.0?
I'm pleased.
You pleased? Yeah, I like it too. It's real sleek and it looks like a spaceship, the new design.
It does. It's more geometric.
Yeah, that. They sent a nose hair trimmer too. You used that. How'd that go?
I did. It was a little scary at first, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So here's the thing. We're fixing to build this soundproof studio. And I wanted to get, this is my wife. This is Kayla.
Hi.
We are married.
Married.
Wanted to do this late night episode Sunday night just so we can talk about some of the things that you've experienced as a wife, as a woman, some of the questions that you might have. Yeah. And I started saying we're building this studio, and then I went into that, but we're building the studio this weekend. So hopefully soon these will be more regular episodes, and I'll be able to just kind of shut in here and record as needed. It's been kind of sporadic because my new studio is open on 2 of the walls, and I have to kind of have a whole dead house, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, 4 kids.
4 kids.
It's a lot of moving around.
A lot of moving around. Turning off our noise gates.
Yeah.
What do we got? Oh, so when we first met, you found out that I was on TRT, and then I had this podcast in the Facebook group, TRT community, within 8 minutes of talking, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How'd you feel about it? Were you skeptical or nervous, or did you think, oh, he's some kind of gym head dick? What do you think?
No, definitely not. I don't think I knew what to think, just because I didn't understand the caliber of your involvement. But it didn't freak me out. I think when you started educating me a little more, I got a little more freaked out.
Really?
And then the more I learn, I get back to less freaked out.
So what about the education made you more freaked out?
Well, as someone who didn't know anything, you think of TRT as maybe supplements.
Oh, okay.
On that kind of level.
Yeah,
Super
that makes
light,
sense.
no big deal kind of thing.
So you say, oh my gosh, what do you do for a living? And I say, oh, I've got a podcast related to testosterone or TRT, and I do this really boring insurance thing. And you think supplements like a GNC kind of thing, no big deal. And then when we start talking, it's like, oh, you stab yourself with needles how often?
Yeah.
You can laugh into that microphone.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and then, figuring out that there are so many different things, so many different options,
Yeah.
mixtures, components involved.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It can be pretty overwhelming.
When you start talking about things and things, they start to come full circle. Like you were just telling me about a guy that you had dated in the past that was on TRT. He did the pellets, so it's like every guy in that 30, 40 plus range nowadays, in my opinion, is either on it or probably needs to be on it.
Yeah. So even then I didn't understand the complex, how complex it could be.
Yeah.
He did the pellets. Is that the right term? Yeah, just the once. I didn't notice a difference. I didn't understand what symptoms the reason that his doctor prescribed it. I didn't understand why they came to that conclusion to decide, try the pellets. But they did, and time came up to where it ran out. He needed to do it again. He never did. So we just never, and that was all I knew about it.
I've heard that's kind of a painful procedure. I mean, they make incisions and they stuff these rice grains inside of your body.
Yeah. At one point, after it had started healing, he described it as it just felt like he always still had his wallet in his pocket.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what concerns did you have after you found out kind of more about what it was? Were you nervous for my health? Were you nervous about who you were getting involved with? What was the...
I do get nervous about your health just because it's a hard thing to keep up. You have what I would consider a heavy duty regimen.
Yeah.
That could just be me being uneducated again, but
no, it is.
To me, it's a lot.
And it's something that's kind of grown over time. You know, whenever I first started it, it was just testosterone. It was just once a week. And I went to the low T clinic to have it done. Mm-hmm. And then as I got more educated and kind of became an advocate and a proponent, then I started adding things on. And then before you know it, I'm doing, random peptides to make my skin darker when we go to Florida on vacation. So, I agree. It's heavy duty. I mean, I carry my stuff around in a tackle box. So it's, it makes sense. But to me, it doesn't seem like anything because I've been doing it so long and it's just slowly built up over time. Yeah.
Most of the time it's out of sight, out of mind for me. You won't let me stab you. So
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't.
So I don't get to do the fun part. I've tried helping you, get your injections ready. Again, I get kind of overwhelmed trying to keep up with what's what. Yeah. So most of the time it's out of sight, out of mind. He's got this. He knows what he's doing. And then about the other 50%, I'd say, I'm like, well, holy crap, something might happen to him one day and I need to know how to do all this.
Like what?
I don't know if something happens to you.
You mean like if I have a stroke and I need you to continue my injections?
No.
Like what?
Probably wouldn't be a concern.
If I have a stroke, you have my permission to drop the TRT.
What if you break both of your arms?
Okay.
But you're otherwise fine.
My hands? Because I could still use my hands.
Well, no, they can't reach you because you're in one of those casts. You have like L-shaped arms permanently.
I have experience with a different injection, bumping myself up against a sofa to try to get that injection done. So I think you could hold the syringe and I could just like run into the bathroom cabinet and no.
Okay, both arms and one leg.
Hop. Okay. No, that makes sense. But honestly, it's not something that I couldn't walk you through if we absolutely had to. And that, if I broke my arms and I'm laid up for 12 weeks, that's something I would definitely want to continue because I do feel like shit if I'm 2 or 3 weeks removed from the TRT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weeks, days, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So do you have concerns that it will cause the health issue? Not the broken arms, but are you scared that the testosterone itself, because, you see these daytime TV commercials where it's talking about class action lawsuits, men, people suing these companies, Androgel and whatnot, because it's causing strokes and heart attacks. Is that a fear?
Up until this moment, no.
It's all based on bad science, bad, old studies. The new studies, or really probably any study, is essentially the overall, I don't know what to call it, but the overall consensus is that a man with low testosterone has much greater health risks than a man on testosterone, and it doesn't cause, stroke. That's why I donate blood regularly, is because that's, I thin my blood back out, I get those hematocrit levels back down, and that's what keeps me out of danger for something like that. Yeah,
so the testosterone doesn't worry me. Some of the other things you try,
like what?
It worries me a little bit.
Like what?
Melanotan.
Okay, so that worries me too. That's not something I'm super proud of.
Oh, good. We're on the same page.
Yeah. So I took the Melanotan, whatever it is, before our beach trip because your family's insane and you all tan and I don't. I've told the story that, I once worked at a tanning salon and basically got fired because I could not be tan. The owner would come in and say, "Hey man, you're representing a tanning salon. How about you jump in a bed every once in a while?" And I'm like, "I just got out 45 minutes ago. I'm going to be burned, tomorrow, and it's never going to turn into a tan." So yeah, I spoke with the doctor. I got the okay. I ordered the Melanotan 2 from a Canadian peptide company. I'll link them in the show notes here. And me and my lab rat had some experiments, and that rat got real tan at the beach for a week and has not injected in 3 weeks and is still holding this golden brown skin color.
So tan.
So tan. Not unnaturally tan. Unnaturally for me, but not unnaturally for... I think it looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, it's a research peptide. It's not FDA approved in America. It's something that kind of concerns me too. And we've talked about it, and I'll continue it through the summer because we have those hard 8-hour days at the pool. And then it's not something I'll do through the winter time.
Yeah, I think just where you are as being a leader in a leadership role, the fact that you will continue to have things to experiment on yourself.
Yeah. And the Melanotan, honestly, I don't consider that part of the TRT. I know about it because of TRT probably, but it's not related to TRT. And that is the most, or the least safe thing I've probably ever done and probably ever will do, I guess. Not that it's not safe, but it makes me the most uncomfortable. Most of the other stuff that I take, we're talking about like Cialis, Viagra, that kind of thing, tadalafil and sildenafil. Those are well-researched medications. Those aren't anything that I worry about. But
yeah, so the Melanotan isn't the only thing, though. It's just it's not because of where it is in the clinical trials or anything. But yeah, the other stuff worries me too. I feel like a constant cocktail of trial and error, and it worries me sometimes.
A lot of the stuff that I'm trying though isn't. It's not that the peptide is new. It's that we're trying to figure out how to get my levels where they need to be without side effects. So like within the last year, I've developed pretty bad acne. And we're trying to like rid that, but also keep my levels up. So like the ipamorelin and stuff like that you're probably talking about, those injections, those are safe. Those are well studied. That's not a scary thing to me. It's just trying to balance out, get me back to where I was like 18 months ago.
Yeah, but still feeling your best at the same time.
Right. So we got married in March. I've been doing TRT for 7 years. Yeah. What questions or concerns would you have had if I were looking into starting this now?
I think I would have wanted to take much smaller baby steps than probably you did.
Okay, like what?
I would have wanted to try one small thing at a time.
That's what I did.
For a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a very small dose of testosterone once a week injected by a nurse for 8 months or so. And then I found a doctor that would let me do it at home. And at that time we added in, what are you hearing? What's happening?
Thunder? I don't know.
Oh. At that time we added in HCG. And then it stayed just those two for years. It wasn't until, the podcast came along and the Facebook group got bigger that people started approaching me with different things and wanting me to talk about or try different things. I was super concerned. That's why I asked the question, because I was super concerned for my own health whenever it was happening. And I researched this like I've never researched anything else in my life and started slow. So
at your just testosterone and HCG, you were feeling optimal? Or?
So I have never felt the benefits that most of the guys describe. I have, I feel better and I feel good. Most of my benefits I feel like are mental, memory, brain fog, ambition, drive, those types of things are well improved. Yeah. But as far as like the energy levels, I've never gotten what most guys do ever. So yeah, that's what I'm working on with Kenny at Matrix Hormones to try to get my levels up to a point to where I actually have the physical benefits. Yeah. I did a podcast before with Ian, and I've talked about it a couple of times about the mental aspects of things and how my benefits were really subtle, and I stopped TRT for about a year, 5 years ago, and up until that point, I didn't think it was working for me very well. And when I stopped is when I noticed that I was more tired. I couldn't think. I couldn't do my job. I mean, I couldn't sit at my desk and work because my brain was just mush. Yeah. So those are the benefits that I've seen most. Yeah. What about concerns? Do you have concerns about I guess mentally, the type of husband or father that I am?
I just, again, it's a lot for you to keep up with. So my concern is, that you're going to have to do this for the foreseen future.
Yeah. That's forever.
Yeah. But I don't have concerns about the type of husband or father you are. You've gone, since we've been together.
We fought.
And we fought. We fight when you're on it.
Yeah. And, some of those benefits, I mean, beforehand, I wasn't super patient, and I'm not the most patient guy ever now, but I was like, I would describe myself as kind of a burn the house down kind of guy. I was a yeller and, or screamer, and a bad fighter, and I'm much more patient, and just mindful,
Yeah, I think just you knowing that, first of all, I do think that you're super patient, but, for a while when you went off your TRT, you did have a shorter fuse.
Yeah.
Not a burn the house down fuse. You still were mindful of it and even came and talked to me and said, hey, here's what's going on. I'm not trying to use this as a crutch, but I want you to know, why I'm different. Yeah. So it helped us work through it and talk about it.
Yeah. Earlier, I think you said that I was perfect on it and the most, did you say the most patient guy you've ever met?
I said none of that.
Oh, okay. What else? Any other concerns or things that you wanted to know or would have wanted to know before I started or just want to know now?
I think just one thing I would like to know is what makes you keep tweaking your regimen? So
does that bother you that I do that?
That's one of the things I was saying.
Yeah.
It scares me. You're constantly changing it up.
So it is only because I'm trying to get, honestly, if I could stay exactly how I feel now, and no side effects. I want this acne gone, but I want to keep the benefits, the mental clarity and the ambition and drive and those kinds of things. That's it. That's the only reason. I don't typically change often or this often. It's just been like the last 12 to 14 months. It's been a constant, why did I get acne all of a sudden? And I'm talking like bad acne, like mostly on my chest, some on my face and scalp, but on my chest. And it's like I'm wearing a t-shirt to go to bed because I'm getting blood on our white comforter kind of bad,
Yeah.
But that's the only reason. I'm just trying to reel that in, but keep the testosterone benefits.
Yeah. So I think for myself, I just still have a lot to learn about it. I'm always asking you questions. It's just such a big part of your life, this podcast and your group and sharing with other people is your passion. And
yeah,
because of how much it's helped you out.
I'm going to have your daddy on here soon.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Thank you for listening to the TRT Community Podcast. You can find us online at facebook.com/groups/TRT Community.